Hello and welcome. I am Exelite and this is my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a segment for my paranormal and supernatural news from around the world. I got this article from Beyond Reality News. It's wintertime. We're all going to be in the house more often. It's going to be cold and dark, snowy. And after you've watched my videos, if you are still in the mood for more paranormal stories, please head over to Paranormal and Supernatural World on Facebook. It's run by our own Robert Burns. And also check out Beyond Reality News. They have a great website. They have a lot of interesting articles for all different interests. I think you'll enjoy them both. I like to spread the news of things that I find interesting. So for you, those of you who are new, please go ahead and click that subscribe and like button. I'd appreciate it very, very much. Here's what happens on these segments. They will not be edited. You are likely to hear me make mistakes. Also, you could possibly hear my dog in the background walking around with her collar ringing. And occasionally, we have a thunderstorm and geese make appearances. So, here we go. Today, this story is about a village in Britain and it is called the Plague Village, and this is what it is about. All it took was a contaminated bale of cloth to kill off almost an entire village, Eyam, which is known as the Plague Village of Derbyshire. It was ravaged by the disease during the Great Plague of 1666. And I'm going to stop here for a minute and point out the year. 1666. It's probably not going to be a good year. The village of Eyam is the final resting place of hundreds of plague victims. When the cloth sent up from plague-ridden London and teeming with fleas was hung to dry by a local tailor, it unleashed pain and pestilence upon the whole village. The plague, which happens to be caused by bites from infected rats and fleas, left sufferers keeled over, vomiting and sputtering as they bled uncontrollably and their skin turned black. And for those of you trivia buffs, that is why the plague was referred to as the Black Plague, because of the color it turned the victim's skin. The dead of Eyam allegedly haunt the plague town to this day. William Mopson, who was the town's rector, watched in fear as villagers began to pack up their belongings and prepared to flee the plagued town. So he enlisted the help of an exiled reverend whose name was Thomas Stanley to intervene and to implore the villagers to do something remarkable. On the 24th of June, 1666, Mopson called Eyam's residents together and begged them to quarantine themselves so that the disease couldn't spread into neighboring settlements. Incredibly, the whole town vowed to sacrifice their own lives to stop the pestilence which had been festering in Eyam from claiming any more lives. The people of Eyam chose death so that they would not spread the disease further, and by August, the sweltering heat of an unusually hot summer pushed the villagers to desperation. Mothers were burying their own children, and husbands were burying their wives as the outsiders watched from a nearby hill. They were too scared to come any closer to the residents of the plagued town. Mopson remarked that his wife, Catherine, had noticed a sickly sweet smell in the air the day before she died, while he described it as the stench of sadness and death in letters from beyond the cordon. But come November, the plague died down without having spread any further, meaning that the town's sacrifice had saved countless lives. By quarantining themselves, Eyam's residents knew that they would more than likely die. Today, its residents are proud of the plague town's legacy. Local historian Mr. Thompson told the BBC that who would have thought they would have agreed to do that and put themselves and their families in mortal danger, which is what they did. So much so that at least a third of the population died. But Eyam's dark story doesn't end there. Today, rumors swirl that the town is haunted by the ghosts of those who were claimed by the plague epidemic. Today in Eyam, there are unexplained footsteps allegedly echoing around the Miners' Arms pub. But in a village where every house is adorned with plaques bearing the names of plague victims, it's impossible to know whose steps they are. Guests who stay at the inn have reported their doors opening and slamming mysteriously, accompanied by a chorus of ghostly giggling. At Eyam Hall, Sarah Mills, a servant girl who drowned in the village well, has reportedly been sighted. And, understandably, visitors say they can't walk past the headstones dotted around the surrounding area without feeling chills. I picked this story because I find it very interesting. I would really love to go visit this place. First off, I'm fascinated with old cemeteries, so seeing these old headstones, the fact that there are plaques on every house bearing the names of the people, the women, men, children who died in this plague, that is so interesting to me. I love history. I love paranormal and supernatural things, so you combine that into one place, and that's the place for me to go. So, would you have given that sacrifice? Would you have stayed in Plague Village so that no one else would die from the plague? That's a lot to ask of someone, right? To watch your children die, your husband, your wife, sisters, brothers, mothers. That's a pretty big sacrifice. I hope you like this story. I hope you found it interesting. And like I said before, please, if you're not subscribed, please do that. Please click that like button. And if you'd like to be notified of new content when I upload it, then go ahead and click that bell. Thank you.